Welcome to Rogan's Network. In today's video, we'll see how to configure the trunk port. When you're dealing with two or more switches, the trunk port comes into play. The trunk port carries multiple VLANs. So as far the topology is concerned, it's a previous example. In addition to that, I have added one switch and also four PCs. And I believe that it's easy to understand, as I just stated the IP networks that I'm using and also assigned to the VLAN 10 and 20 respectively. And since we have added this switch and four PCs, we'll go ahead and configure the interfaces as an access port and assign those interfaces to the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 respectively, as I've already assigned the IP address to the PCs. So as we are in, we'll go to the second switch. I'm in the middle of the configuration by the way. So I have configured the XC000 and 1 in VLAN 10 and the other two interfaces in VLAN 20, and also assign them to the access port. As you can see here, the interface mode is access for everything. And also I have created the respective VLANs, which is VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. And I think it's a good thing to show you right here, because when you configure, you might run into this problem, which is basically family Ethernet switching, and the rest of the families are mutually exclusive. So meaning that these interfaces are routed ports, so you have to change it to switch port by deleting the family inet. So to do that, delete interface XC000 unit 0 family inet. So these are the router ports. So now we will be deleting the interfaces from 000 to 003. First, second, and the last one. Once done, now try to commit it. So before committing, this issue will come. So once you just delete those interfaces which is routed, then you'll be able to commit. So as you see, you have successfully committed it. And to check whether the interfaces has been configured respectively, we will type show display set, and we can see here the interfaces as the 000 as VLAN 10, 1 as VLAN 10, the interface XC002 as VLAN 20, and 003 as VLAN 20 as well. And finally, we have also configured the VLANs, which is VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Also, to check the configuration in the interfaces, type show configuration. Since we are in the config mode, run show configuration interfaces XC000. And this is the method to view the configuration. Now let's go ahead and verify whether the devices in the VLAN 10 were able to communicate with each other. So in order to do that, let's start the devices first. Log into the specific PCs, and to see what IP I have assigned. So IP, I given 1.3, I'm gonna ping 61.4. As you see, we were able to communicate within the VLAN 10. And now if you want to communicate from the devices which is present in the VLAN 10 on the first switch to communicate with the VLAN 10 on the second switch, we have to configure the trunk port. In order to configure the trunk port, we will go into the first switch first, tag conf, and set interfaces XC004. So that's the interface. That's the interface we're working on. Unit 0, family inet, about family Ethernet switching, interface mode, question mark. As you see, trunk, we'll type trunk. So in the Cisco switches, we might have configured using just switch port mode, trunk, and it just carries all the VLANs which is present in the switch. Unless until if you're using the allowed VLANs, which might restrict what VLANs you're using and what VLANs must communicate and what not. But in Juniper, you have to associate the VLANs present in the switches so that it communicates with the devices on the other switch. If not, it will throw the error. So in order to show you that, I'm going to just commit and see what happens. So we just configured the XE004 as trunk port, and it says for the trunk interface, please ensure either VLAN member is configured or inner VLAN list is configured. So this is the problem I'm speaking about. So now we'll go ahead and rectify it by using set interface XE004 unit 0 family Ethernet switching VLAN question mark say members, and for the members you can either do VLAN 10, VLAN 20 as a part of allowed VLANs, because allowed VLANs as a part of traffic engineering, which is in Cisco, is not present in the Juniper. But you can actually give which VLANs you want to communicate and do not want to communicate. But as of now, we will go ahead and configure both of the VLANs. You can either give all, or you can use open bracket and type 10 and 20, since we have configured 10 and 20, and it takes. So as soon as you configured, go ahead and commit. And now as you can see, there is no problem, and the commit was successful. So we will go ahead and configure the trunk port in the switch 2. So in order to do that, set interface XE004 net 0 family Ethernet switching, and interface mode trunk, and then set interface XE004 unit 0 family Ethernet switching VLAN members. And now let's give all. It's one of the same. And it's done. Commit. And again, you have to delete the layer 3 interface. To do that, delete interface XE004 unit 0 family inet, and try committing again. And to check, show compare. Since we committed, it's not going to show us, but to verify the trunk port whether it is configured or not, we'll just do run show interfaces display set. My bad. So you don't have to use run for the display set. So show interfaces display set match trunk. As you see, we have configured this interface as a trunk, so that's how it is showing, else it will be blank. In order to verify using the interface configuration, you can also use run show configuration interface XE004. As you see, it's in the trunk port and all the VLANs are allowed it. To verify whether the VLANs were able to communicate from one switch to another switch, we'll ping from PC1, the VLAN 10, to the PC in the VLAN 10 again. To do that, I'll log into, and this is in 1.3, so ping 192.168.1.3. Now we have successfully verified the trunk port is working and also configured the trunk port in Juniper. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, bye from Rogan.